Hi, I'm Andrea. Thanks for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. I have a yoga mat, but if you do not, you also will notice that I am standing upon my living room rug. A rug is a great yoga mat for today. Or maybe you've got a carpeted area in your house. Also, a folded blanket can come in handy. That could be as simple as a beach towel, or maybe you have a thick bath towel, the throw blanket from your couch, and a couple of blocks. A substitute that I have found that works really well is a couple of thick books, if you've got those. And then we will stand in mountain pose. Feet are hip distance apart and parallel. Let's turn our palms away from our bodies so we don't get into the slump that we sometimes can. A little bend in our knees. We'll gaze at what I like to call the bright horizon. So instead of cheating our chin forward, we let it float parallel to the ground. And it's here that we stop so that we can start. We start to turn the arrows of attention inward. We start to bring awareness to our breath, experiencing every inhale and every exhale. Seeing if we can't breathe both in and out through our nose. If that's not happening, it's not a big deal. It's mostly awareness that I want us to inspire. Let's add a little bit of movement here. So we inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. And then exhale, float your arms along your sides. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, float your arms along your sides, palms face out. Last time, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, float your arms along your sides, and let's add more. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs for this first one. Use your hands against your thighs so that when I say inhale, lift your heart, it makes sense. You can press your hands into your thighs and really get that sense of length, even when your hands maybe in the future are not on your thighs. Exhale, hinge a little bit deeper and fold, but keep the length in your spine, and then inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, V. Float your arms along your sides. Inhale, arms V shape overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, or maybe you slide them to your shins or even to your ankles, but we're not rounding and crumbling, so we want to think of what we found with our hands on our thighs. Slide your hands up if you slid them down as we inhale, uplift our heart. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper, but try to stay long in your spine, and then inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, V shape. We pause with our palms facing out, adding more. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, shins, or ankles. Inhale, glide your hands up, uplift your heart, bend your knees deeply, palms flat. We step into our down dog. From down dog, we will walk our feet forward again, hip distance at the front edge of our mat. Glide your hands up, inhale, lift your heart. Fold in, slide your hands down. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V, and then we stand with our palms facing out, adding even more. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge, hands to thighs, shins, or ankles. Inhale, glide your hands up, bend your knees deeply, palms flat, step to down dog. From downward facing dog, shift to plank, shoulders over wrists, and then let a hook lead your hips up and back for down dog. 2 more times like that. We inhale, shoulders over wrists in a plank position, and then we let a hook in our tailbone lift us up and back to down dog. Once more, shoulders over wrists in our plank position. 1 more time, the hook in our tailbone takes us to down dog. Walk forward, feet to your hands, hip distance. Glide your hands up, inhale, lift your heart. Slide your hands down, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, and then we pause, palms face out. Even more of an addition. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hands to thighs, shins, or ankles. Inhale, glide your hands up, hands to your mat, step to down dog. This time when we shift shoulders over wrists in our plank, let's stay and bring our knees to our mat as if applying a kickstand to our plank. We're not collapsed into our shoulders, so actively push the ground away. Let that activate also your core, so you feel your low belly draw towards your spine. Keep that in one piece as slowly as possible. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Once you're on your belly, bring your forearms parallel to those long edges of your mat. Traction your elbows towards you. Draw your chest through the gateway of your arms. Remember floating our chin parallel to the ground instead of jutting our chin forward. Let's let that be true here. And activate your legs by pressing the very tops of your feet down so that you feel your knees buoyantly lift off your mat. We're making certain that it's not shoulders in our ears, and then we'll lower down. And try that on with our hands next to our ribs this time. If you prefer Sphinx, you can do Sphinx the whole time. A little bit of a gentle back bend, maybe hands next to our ribs this time. How's it going? Activating your legs. Lower down, curl your toes under. Bring your hands next to your ribs if they're not there already. And in one chunk, come to all fours. And then let your hips lift you up and back into your down dog. From down dog, walk forward, feet to your hands. Inhale, glide your hands up. Exhale, slide your hands down. Inhale, rise, reach thumbs to the sky, a V, and then we'll stand in our mountain, palms facing out. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, shins or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up. Palms go flat, so you need to bend your knees deeply. Step back, down dog. Shift shoulders over wrists. Bring your knees to your mat like a little bit of a kickstand. Lower all the way onto your belly. Go slow. Uncurl your toes. Let it be a little bit of a back bend, either cobra or forearms down for Sphinx. Then lower down and bring your hands next to your ribs. Curl your toes under. In one chunk, we come to all fours. And then your hips lift up and back into your down dog. Walk forward slowly. Feet come to our hands. Feet are hip distance. We slide our hands up our shins, ankles, thighs, uplift our heart. And then fold as we exhale. Rise, reach thumbs to the sky, V-shape stand. Palms face out, and we are in our mountain. We want to move our props so that they are ready and available for our next bit of fun. Your two blocks, or maybe thick books, will go on either end long edge-wise of your mat, because we'll now face the other long edge as the front of our mat. My blocks are not upon my mat. I don't want them underfoot. And then once they're in place, step out wide and take your arms wide. Aim to have your ankles underneath your wrists. We'll probably need to step a little bit wider, but that's a really good starting point. Turn your right leg out so that your right foot is facing the short edge of your mat. Then cheat your left heel at a 45-degree angle. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. We'll bend our front knee. If your knee is further forward than your ankle, give it a scooch. So there's a vertical line from our knee to our ankle, and then let's play dynamically. A V shape and a straight front leg, and then our arms widen and we bend our front knee. The V shape straightening our leg is our inhale. The bend to our front knee and our arms extending is our exhale. V shape, inhale, straight leg. Bend your front knee, exhale, arms extend. One more time, V shape, straight front leg. This time we'll snuggle in, bent front leg, straight back leg, 45-degree angle, and the back arch feels lifted and alive. The outer edge of our back foot, our left foot, is grounded into the earth. 3 moments here in Warrior 2. Straighten your front leg, turn all toes to face the long edge of your mat. Turn your left leg out so that your left foot is facing that short edge of your mat. Cheat your right heel back at a 45-degree angle. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Bend your left knee. We should be pretty good spacing-wise. Vertical from knee to ankle. You can always double check that. Inhale, straighten your front leg, V-shape your arms. Exhale, bend your front knee, arms reach out. Inhale, V-shape. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straight leg V-shape. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straight leg V-shape. Exhale, bend. We'll do that one more time and then we will hold. So first a straight front leg, and now we snuggle in, bent front knee, straight back leg, 45-degree angle with our back foot, arch lifted, outer edge solid, 3 moments. We will straighten our front leg, turn all toes to face the long edge. Let your arms release so you don't feel like they're fatigued. Turn your right leg out. Cheat your left heel at our 45-degree angle. Arms out to the side, bend your front knee. Take your right forearm across your right thigh to start. Left arm to the sky, left thumb to the sky. Something to check on, we're not crumbling our left leg, our back leg. Press that left thigh bone into the hamstring and feel that you're hugging your right hip underneath you instead of swinging your butt out back behind you. Option to stay here if you would like, or to take your right hand onto your book or block on the outside of your right foot. We're not rounding in our spine and crumbling our shoulders into our ears. We're rolling inner upper arms away from each other, lengthening through our spine, and actually having a pretty good time right now. 3 moments of a good time in side angle. Now keep everything the same here, except straighten your right leg slowly. Now if you are not using a block, you can use your shin. I just want you to be gentle on your shin so you're not forcing your front leg into hyperextension or overly straight. Probably, now that we have a new crop of sensations by straightening our front leg, a reminder of finding that space between shoulders and ears is a pretty good reminder. 3 moments here. To come out of it, bend your front knee, move your block off the side of your mat, come through warrior 2 and then straighten your front leg. Turn all toes to face the long edge of your mat. Turn, rotate your left leg to face the back edge of your mat or the front edge of your mat, depending, but the short edge. Cheat your right heel at a 45-degree angle. Bend your front knee, we have a warrior 2, and then left forearm across left thigh. Where you might stay, it's a good place to make sure that you're not swinging and crumbling and that there's some space between shoulders and ears. You could take your block or book and place it on the outside of your left foot. Right thumb to the sky, right arm to the sky, and then we spin our inner upper arms away from each other so there's not a collapse in sight. 3 silent moments here inside angle side 2. Pretty close to the same idea, but a straight front leg. Slowly press into your left big toe mound. Let that leg straighten. We want to keep a hinge at our hip and not turn this into a willowy side bend. So your right hip is actually going to lift up as you find that hinge. Once again, spin inner upper arms away from each other, create space anywhere you can, and we will soak for 5 moments in this stretch together. Take a look down, bend your left knee, move your block so it's not in your way, and come up through warrior 2. Straighten your front leg, turn all toes to face that long edge of your mat. One last wide stance bit of business. Turn your right leg out, cheat your left heel back. Hinge at your right hip, take the triangle pose we did a little while ago from a different entrance. This might be a little easier to establish that hip hinge. You are welcome to stay here and enjoy a second round of triangle pose. You might take your left hand onto your left hip, look down and float this triangle onto simply your right leg. So move your block or book a foot in front of you, step up, lift your left leg, hug your right hip underneath you. It's fine, absolutely great to keep your left hand on your hip or float that thumb to the sky, left arm to the sky. Then we'll step back carefully to triangle. So it's good to know where you're going. Move your block with you, step it back, right hand down, left arm up to the sky. Again, we will exit by way of a warrior two. So look down and bend your front knee. That makes it easy to move your block off to the side. Warrior two, straighten your front leg, turn all toes to face the long edge of your mat. Turn your left leg out. Cheat your right heel back, thumbs to the sky, not a side bend, but a hinge at your hip. And then left hand down, right arm up to the sky. And we pause for a second in triangle. Some of us pause and enjoy triangle round two. If you are interested in floating this on one leg, right hand on your hip, look down, move your block a foot in front of your left pinky toes, step it up, lift that right leg, and then float your right arm up to the sky and pause. 2 moments. As gracefully as we can, we step it into our triangle once again, so glide your block with you, step it back, stick your landing, pause for a moment. And then a bend to our left knee so that we can scoot our block off to the side, come through warrior two, straighten our front leg, turn all toes to face the long edge of our mat, and slowly heel toe until our feet are hip distance apart and we can wander about and reassemble our props. Both blocks now will go out in front of the short edge of our mat. Kind of shoulder distance would be a good way to think about it. First, let's rehearse a chair pose. We'll add to it, but V-shape, bend your knees. So V-shape with our arms, thumb to the sky. Parallel with our feet, about hip distance, and we're sitting into a chair behind us that actually isn't a chair behind us. And then stand up, float your arms alongside your palms, facing out. We now create a figure four that way. So chair pose, and then right ankle on top of left thigh. That's the figure four. Hands in a prayer. Trot your right elbow down your right shin a little bit. That's option one. Maybe right hand onto your block and left arm up to the sky. So prayer position with your right elbow on your right shin, or right hand on your block and left arm up to the sky. Take a moment. It's kind of an interesting little stretch and definitely a balancing pose, maybe especially if you're not using your book or block. 2 moments here. Let's unravel it, hands to blocks or books, and then step down, right foot hip distance from left. We take a chair pose, thumbs to the sky, V-shape, then stand it up and pause in your mountain for a moment. Second side of our figure four twist, we'll call it, chair pose. Left ankle on top of right thigh, hands in a prayer, trot your left elbow down your left shin. Now that's option one. Left hand onto your block, right arm thumb to the sky is option two. You might even visit both of those at some point during our stay. And you just appreciate that it is both a twist and a stretch and quite a bit of balance. A couple more moments, exactly as we are. Unwind your hands to your blocks. Step your left foot hip distance from your right. We will take a chair pose and also take care of a little housekeeping, blocks off to the side. And then stand up, palms face out. We visit our mountain. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs or shins or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up, take your hands to your mat, step back into downward facing dog. From down dog, shift plank, shoulders over wrists, knees down, in as much of just one piece as you can, all the way to your belly. Uncurl your toes, cobra or sphinx pose. Lower down, curl your toes under, come through all fours. And then make it down dog by way of a hook in your tailbone and a pushing of the ground away. Walk yourself forward, carefully come to a seated position. All of us are going to have a slightly different arrangement of this next situation. I'm going to start with my feet fairly far from my hips because that might be the best recipe for most of us. Hands behind you. I like fingers facing away from me some of the times and fingers facing me some of the time, so you can play around with that and personalize it for your needs or what feels good to you. We'll take our right ankle, figure four it over our left thigh. Now, instead of a floppy foot, let's curl our toes back in flexion, dorsiflexion it's called, and then sit up tall. So whichever fingers away from you or fingers facing you, whichever facilitates a nice tall spine, that's where you want to go. If you feel like, I'm feeling something, but I'd like to feel a little bit more stretch in my right hip, if you bend your left knee and scoot your butt a little closer to that left heel, I'm going to guess it's a pretty different sensation, a different feeling. So adjust it so that it makes sense for your body for today, and know that we're going to be here for a full minute. So I wouldn't be overly ambitious. Just find a place that's the sweet spot, and we have 1 minute starting now. That's our 1 minute. So to get out of this mess, scoot your hands back a little bit, free yourself up a little bit if you tightened it up in particular, and then left ankle on top of right thigh, and you'll mess around with this side until you feel like the porridge is just right. And then once we settle in, I'll give you that silence to meditate in. 1 minute starting now. That was our 1 minute. Let's loosen up our situation, bring our feet hip distance apart. Lie down on your back and place a hand on your heart and a hand on your low belly. And we often think about hip classes or hip stretches as what we've been doing so far. But actually our hips go in a lot of different directions, and a bridge pose, which we're about to do, is also a hip stretch. It stretches the hip flexors in the front of our thighs or in the front of our hips. So place your palms flat, snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you, and now lift your hips up. That's plenty. If you like to interlace, you can interlace and maybe snuggle your shoulder blades even closer to one another underneath you. But feel how there's actually an opening up, a stretching here. And then we'll lower down, place a hand on our heart, a hand on our low belly. One more bridge pose, up we go. And interlace, palms flat, whatever you please. We lower down, scoot our hips to the right, drop our knees to the left. You might cross your right knee over your left knee, supine twist or lying down twist. And then we come to center, scoot our hips to the right, let our knees drop over to the left, maybe left knee on top of right knee. And now down the middle, we spill across the floor. You might choose to keep your knees bent for Shavasana final meditation, or extend one leg and then the other leg. If it's comfortable, close your eyes. Or rest and digest. You're welcome to stay here in your Shavasana final meditation as long as you would like. If you're ready, bend your knees. Roll gently to either side. Come up to any comfortable way to sit. Palms go up or down. And we just take a moment to appreciate this practice and the way it makes us feel. Body, mind, and spirit. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I look forward to us doing it again together soon.